Hello everyone, it is me, Canner. Welcome to another Rush Duel video. Today we have the March 2024 meta recap. I did one of these back for, I believe it was February. It's either February or January. Let me Yeah, I did one of these way back with January, and honestly I liked doing it. It gave me kind of, in front of me something that was interesting and was a way for us to view, well, a way for me to view what the results were in the actual, meta. And King of Games, and in this case as well, the Goha Rush Festival. And this time we have deck lists after we talk about all the representations. Once again, the big note, credit for the way that I'm the reason I'm doing this. ANerdNamedBt. Just credit for that. Where deserved. So, first off, let's take a look at the King of Games decks, and we have 46 Harpy, 28 Royal Rebel, 22 Cybers, 17 Thunder, 16 Magnum Overlord, and 22 Other, which anytime you see Moki Moki, that is going to be representative of Other for me. So, we take a look at this. It's not really a shock that Harpy is the highest represented deck, while not necessarily being the best deck in the format. The reason for this also is, well, Harpy is its budget-ish. It's the most budget out of all these options. And it's extremely strong. This deck really can just punish your opponent really on all axes. A lot of these decks do. Like Magnum Overlord, if they don't kill you and you get the maximum, typically you're just winning. Well, that was King of Games. Let's take a look at tournaments, because I want to talk about the other decks a little bit more when it comes to tournaments. And we see here, this is what we got for the tournament decks that were reported. 17 Royal Rebel, 14 Thunder, 7 Magnum Overlord, 7 Harpies, 4 Cybers, 1 Aggro, 1 Bubble Era, and 1 Ancient Forces. I believe the Ancient Forces might have been post-list, so just keep that in mind. Some of this might be from post-list testing. And tournaments being run post-list, which the list, by the way, I don't like it. Just going to throw that here. Royal Rebel. Is this a shock to anyone that this is the best deck? Royal Rebel's kind of been around forever. I mean, that's just how it is. But with the new mini, and then the super mini, and then the event rerun, Royal Rebel has just gotten so much, and they got a new skill, Hell Tuning Invasion, which is the most broken skill ever. Yeah, not a shock to see them here. Thunder, to me, was a little bit shocking to see it there, but I guess it kind of makes sense. It's a pretty strong deck just as a whole, but I think a lot of that feels worse, with the power of hindsight. Magnum Overlord, of course, an incredible deck. Arguably could potentially be a top deck in the future. Same with Harpies. Any of these top decks could be the top, and it doesn't shock me that we have, these decks so much higher than every other deck. Let's talk about now the Goha Rush Festival, because this is a little bit different than the tournaments and the King of Games. It's a little bit different. Let's go to it. All right, so in the top, this is, keep in mind, top 100 deck lists only. We have 30 Royal Rebel, 12 Aggro, 11 Thunder, 9 Magnum Overlord, 6 Harpy, and then 4 others. This deck, Royal Rebel, of course, was everywhere if you played during the Goha Rush Festival. It was everywhere. It was honestly not particularly fun. I pivoted off of it after a while and then just All right. So, yeah. The only thing that really surprised me about this was, I guess, like the placings of the orders. Harpy did really well. I believe it was Harpy that actually won the festival, which, again, not really surprising. Harpy is an incredibly powerful deck. Royal Rebel, incredibly powerful. And then we have, like, kind of some aggressive decks here. I think Magnum Overlord is probably... I'm not even probably. I think in terms of this pie chart, definitely underrepresented. But, I mean, hey, not bad at all for it. 9 out of the top 100, which is 9%. And that's, keep in mind, only the ones that were reported. We didn't get every single deck list reported, so kind of just have to go off the numbers that we do have. Again, Thunder, little high, but, I mean, it's not a bad deck by any means. Magnum Overlord, I think, should have been higher. Harpy definitely should have been higher. Yeah, definitely should have been higher. And then aggro. It's really interesting to see aggro brews kind of pop up here. And a very decent part of that is because of all... what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. This deck is just very well suited for the Goha Rush Festival. It does pretty well into a lot of decks. It, you know, plays super aggressively, it plays super strong, it makes good plays. Yeah, I think aggro is just overall really great. Then if we combine the tournament decks in the Goha Rush Festival, only, this is what we get. 47 Royal Rebel, 25 Thunder, 16 Magnum Overlord, 13 Harpy, 13 aggro, and 10 other. Again, Harpy on the lower end, Magnum Overlord probably should be above Thunder. These two decks probably should be above Thunder. I don't know about aggro. Don't know where I would place it, personally. But, yeah. So let's take a look at the total decks. Not a lot to say, honestly. Alright, we have the total decks here. 75 Royal Rebel, 59 Harpy, 42 Thunder, 32 Magnum Overlord, 26 Cybers, 18 aggro, and then 23 other. This looks correct. Royal Rebel being the best deck by a little margin, Harpy being second, Magnum Overlord probably should be off Thunder, but whatever. And then, like, the rest of the decks. I think this is a pretty good, you know, view of the format at its current point. Come on, can you stop shitting the bed, YouTube? Holy fuck. Alright, well, we are going to take just a moment here, without any commentary, to just go over deck lists from Royal Rebel, Harpies, Thunder, Magnum Overlord, and Cybers. Alright, so now we are going to go into the legend breakdowns. This is something I did last time, and I really enjoyed doing it, and it actually does show kind of what legend cards are at the forefront of the format. Let's take a look. Starting off with our legend monsters, we have 53 Cybertech Alligator, 42 Vorse Raider, 38 Magician's Valkyria, which were the only ones that had meaningful sizes. I could have split up into these, but whatever. These ones are just the meaningful sizes. Then we had 12 Dark Magician, 11 Barrel Dragon, 6 Archfiend Soldier, 2 Summoned Skull, and 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon. Nothing too surprising there. Then we have the Legend Spells, which was slightly surprising for me, but overall, not really. We have 126 Tribute to the Doomed, 86 Monster Reincarnation, and 55 Shield and Sword. The thing that really shocks me is Shield and Sword being lower overall than Monster Reincarnation, just because of how good it is into several decks, but I guess that's just how it goes. Tribute to the Doomed, obviously being able to destroy a monster for really no cost is pretty great. Getting to recycle a boss is pretty good for Monster Reincarnation. And then Shield and Sword, obviously being able to switch a lot of very scary big monsters to defense is super... Well, not to defense, but to switch their attack and defense is what I meant to say, is really good. One example of a deck that gets hit by this pretty hard is Royal Rebel, with all of their monsters at 0 defense. Except for the new one that we got. I don't even know its name, because that deck right now isn't worth considering over the other one. And then we have the most surprising one yet. By the way, I didn't mention this. This is all the same info. It's based off of Duel Links meta. What is the most used legend trap in the game? Yeah, no, we still only have Widespread Ruin. 271 decks playing Widespread Ruin. I think every deck I saw was playing this card. That's it. This card's just really good. Yeah, so this one was kind of short, but I feel like with the, meta that we're in, I didn't have much to say. I also didn't have a tier list at the end of this one. I don't really want to do a tier list at the end of all of these, because remember, this is a tier list using the past month's data that doesn't exactly correlate 1-to-1 on what the format is going to look like here in April, if that makes sense at all. We also had a list this month, so it's like, it's harder to evaluate. But anyways, that's everything for this video. It's a bit shorter. I hope you guys forgive me, but I will see you all in the next one when we get back for some more dueling content. See you then.